all of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed.
When I'm in the club, G, though I know the thugs be wanting to slug.
That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like that's how. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented.
Up just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live.
Did you go to a Diddy party?
Yeah, but now keep in mind.
I'm going to.
In all fairness, there are different kinds of Diddy parties. I've seen Diddy parties where children were there. You know, I think don't go anywhere alone. I swear to you, if you have the rule of not going anywhere alone, if somebody say, yeah, me and my boys were hanging out, I end up with a in my ass. You know, it's where.
What I'm about to tell you today might just blow your mind. Katt Williams warned us 2024 would be the year when the music industry's darkest secrets would finally be exposed, and that time is here, especially when it comes to Diddy. The things coming out right now are so shocking that some big names in the industry are scrambling to stay hidden, and trust me, what Katt revealed, it's not just rumors, it's backed by some serious evidence. So buckle up, because the final name I'm about to mention is going to leave you speechless. First, let's talk about Usher. Yes, that Usher, the superstar we all know. When Usher was just 13 years old, he was sent to live with Diddy in New York. Now think about it. A young teenager living with one of the most powerful and wildest men in the music industry. When Usher appeared on Howard Stern's show and was asked about those days, he laughed it off, but if you listen carefully, between the lines, the real story starts to peek through. He mentioned some curious things happening, and trust me, that word curious hides a lot more than it says, but it doesn't stop with Usher. Other young artists like Justin Bieber and Meek Mill were also taken under Diddy's wing, and the real question is, was it just mentorship or something much darker? Now, let's dive into Justin Bieber's story, and this is where things get even crazier. Justin, just 13 years old at the time when Usher introduced him to Diddy, quickly became close to him. In an old video, you can actually see Diddy saying, 48 hours with Diddy, we can't really disclose what we're doing, but it's definitely every 15-year-old's dream. And young Justin laughingly responds, let's just go get some girls. It might have sounded innocent back then, but looking back now, it raises a lot of uncomfortable questions. Justin himself later opened up about his struggles growing up. In his song Lonely, he sings, everybody saw me sick, and nobody gave a SHT. In a 2020 emotional video which recently resurfaced, Justin breaks down, reflecting on the painful past he had to endure, and now with all these new allegations coming out about Diddy, people are starting to see Justin's old words in a completely new light. Was it really as dark as it seems now? And this is just the beginning. More names are coming, and some of the faces you thought were innocent might not be so innocent after all.
I just wanted to be a good example, and it was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they loved me and, just turn their back on you in a second. I just want to protect her, I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon
So what
anybody.
really pushed Justin Bieber into emotional chaos during his early rise to fame? Fans have always admired Justin's strength, building a massive career while battling so much behind the scenes, and while he's finally starting to open up a little, there's still no full live response from him. Insiders say the last thing Justin wants right now is to dig up those old memories, especially when it comes to his complicated friendship with Diddy. Privately though, he started opening up to close friends, revealing just how much of a nightmare that chapter was, one that left him struggling with drug addiction, suicidal thoughts, and public meltdowns. Now, if Justin Bieber was one of Diddy's alleged victims, the next name will leave you even more stunned. Because this next artist, there's actual leaked audio out there, yeah, you heard that right, where he was allegedly caught in the act with Diddy. After Diddy's arrest back in September, an old audio clip started resurfacing online. This clip had already made waves earlier this year when Lil Rod brought it up in his lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of serious misconduct. The recording supposedly captured Diddy and Meek Mill together in some really weird situations. And the man who recorded it? Some say it's one of Diddy's own close people who finally had enough and decided to expose it. And let's be real, when you think about it, it fits. Remember that iHeartRadio report? Rodney Jones filed a lawsuit accusing Diddy of hooking up with a Philly rapper who dated Nicki Minaj and an R&B star with a Vegas residency, who fits that description perfectly, Meek Mill, but instead of owning up, Meek decided to play the victim card. He tweeted vague stuff like, "They messed with these devices. I ain't with them." And he went on about being a real king from the trenches whose voice the system wants to silence. Man, it's wild how fast people flip the narrative, right? But guess who called this out first? Katt Williams. Yup. Katt's been exposing these industry secrets for years, and speaking of Katt, you can't ignore his long-standing beef with Kevin Hart. Remember back in 2010 when Kevin was linked to Diddy's infamous freaky parties? When asked about it, Kevin played it cool, pretending not to remember. "When did I host for Diddy? Bro, we all saw that video of you at Diddy's party holding a giant mic like a hype man." Today, Kevin's staying very quiet, carefully dodging any talk about Diddy and the mess that's resurfacing, which kinda makes you wonder if he knows something. Why isn't he talking? Now let's talk about YK Osiris. Multiple rumors have floated around about him being Diddy's boy toy after a trip to Jamaica. A video even went viral showing Osiris hanging around. And people instantly started connecting the dots. In an interview on The Breakfast Club, when Osiris was asked about the wildest rumor he heard about himself, he laughed nervously and didn't even want to say it out loud. DJ Envy hinted about the Diddy rumors and Charlemagne Googled it right there. Boom, found the headline. Osiris explained that he was in Jamaica but insisted he was there with a girl, not Diddy, even though Diddy also just so happened to be on the island at the exact same time. Coincidence? I'll let you decide. Meanwhile, Maze, another artist who's had his own long, rocky history with Diddy, finally broke his silence too. He teased fans, saying, "I'm saving my takes for the documentary." No one's sure which doc he's talking about, but insiders say it's already sparked a massive bidding war behind the scenes. Cameron, on a recent episode of It Is What It Is, talked about how CNN only called him to speak about Diddy's scandals, not about the positive stuff he and Maze have been working on. At the end of the day, it's clear nobody's ready to stay silent anymore, and let's not forget, Katt Williams once said he turned down $30 million 4 times because of Diddy's shady offers. In Katt's own words, Diddy be wanting the body and you gotta tell him no. Which makes you wonder how many young artists were lured in by Diddy's money, fame, and gifts. Remember the time he showed off a Lamborghini to a young Justin Bieber? Exactly. The real question now is, how far will Diddy go to keep his secrets buried? And more importantly, is this just the beginning of his downfall? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because honestly, it feels like the walls are finally closing in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
So what specific experiences led to Justin's emotional turmoil during his rise to fame? Now, many of his fans have praised him for his strength in building a career despite everything he's been through. Even though Justin has finally broken his silence, we are still looking for a live response from him. According to the article, the last thing Justin wants to do is relive or even discuss his complicated friendship with Diddy. The insider shares about Bieber, who has dealt with issues like drug addiction, suicidal thoughts, and several public breakdowns. But he's finally breaking his silence to his friends about his nightmare experience and the private hell it's caused him. Now, if Justin Bieber was one of Diddy's alleged victims, the next name is even more shocking. This person wasn't just involved in the infamous freak-offs. There's reportedly leaked audio of him being caught in the act with Diddy. After Diddy's arrest on September 16th, an audio clip started making the rounds online again. The clip had already caused a stir earlier this year when Lil Rod brought Meek into his sexual assault lawsuit against Diddy. The video claimed to feature the voices of Sean Diddy Combs and Meek Mill while they were engaged in weird sexual acts. In a video circulating online, the audio plays, and a man appears to say he recorded the sounds on his phone. Many social media posts suggest that this man is actually Diddy's close by who recorded this. Now, Meek's and Diddy love affair is pretty long, considering when iHeartRadio reported that Rodney Jones filed a lawsuit against Combs, claiming Diddy sexually assaulted him. In his statements, Jones alleged that Diddy confessed to having sex with a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, and an R&B singer who performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency. And he was clearly pointing fingers at Meek Mills because Meek Mills dated Nicki Minaj. When we have so much evidence against any one person, and that person decides to be a holy saint one day, that's what Meek is doing right now. He addressed the issue publicly. They really messed with these devices, he said, making it clear, I'm not with them. He went on to share his journey from modest beginnings, saying, and like me, without a complete school education, gained world influence and a different kind of education. He added, my voice is so powerful as a black man from the ghetto that they want it silenced worldwide. I'm a real king straight out of the trenches, under the control of no one. They figured out how to hurt the can't stop us brands through bots and campaigns just like politicians. Damn, Meek must be joking to admit that. But let's not forget, it was Katt who first dropped these names, right? And speaking of Katt, you can't leave out his #1 enemy, Kevin Hart. In 2010, Hart found himself under scrutiny for allegedly hosting parties for Diddy. Reporters were eager to know if he had observed any strange behavior during those infamous freak-offs, but Hart played it cool, skillfully dodging their questions without confirming or denying the claims about the parties. When reminded about those gatherings, he responded with a puzzled, when I hosted for Diddy? Well, if you don't remember Kevin, we all watched that video of holding that big microphone and screaming in P. Diddy's party. Now, Kevin Hart has stepped back from the legal turmoil surrounding Combs. He hasn't addressed the resurfaced footage from the parties he attended. While it's evident that Kevin had a connection with Diddy, many are left wondering if he might have insider knowledge that he's hesitant to share. After all, if he does know something, it raises questions about why he didn't speak up sooner. There have been multiple accusations of YK Osiris going on vacation with Diddy to Jamaica. A video circulated on social media, with many people claiming he was Diddy's boy toy. YK Osiris has certainly heard his fair share of wild rumors over the years, but none quite as outrageous as the one involving him and the infamous bad boy Diddy. During a recent chat on The Breakfast Club, the Florida artist was asked about the craziest rumor he's encountered. What's that rumor? They say, nah, I ain't gonna say that, he replied, cutting himself off before he could say anything. What was YK Osiris about to reveal that he thought twice about? DJ Envy jumped in, hinting at the gossip about him and Diddy. In response, YK Osiris stood up from his chair, laughing, and began pacing the studio. Charlemagne Thagod was curious about the rumor, so Envy filled him in. They said that he was Diddy's boy toy. Charlemagne, always quick on the draw, pulled out his phone to Google the story. I was in Jamaica with him, Osiris explained as Charlemagne searched. Oh, I see it now, Charlemagne said after finding the article on their supposed relationship. He read the headline aloud. YK Osiris in Jamaica with his alleged boo Diddy, then turned to Osiris and teased, why you did this to Diddy, man? That's messed up, man. I don't know what happened with that, Osiris replied, chuckling. It'd be crazy little talking stuff. I ain't worried about it. A lot of people don't care about it. I was laughing. He went on to clarify that his trip to Jamaica was just a vacation with a woman, and although Diddy happened to be on the island too, they weren't together. Even though fans weren't convinced, the rumors didn't stop. Many believed Osiris was just trying to cover up the story, as the fact that he and Diddy were on the same island seemed more than just a coincidence. For a long time, Mace has been in the picture with Diddy, sparking various rumors. Mace finally broke his silence regarding the allegations against Diddy, telling fans, I'm saving my takes for the documentary. If you're wondering how I feel, it's coming soon. Pause. While the former bad boy artist didn't clarify which documentary he was referencing, it's worth noting that one particular project has recently sparked a massive bidding war. During a recent episode of It Is What It Is, Stat Baby kicked off the show by discussing Cam's appearance on CNN to address Diddy's 2016 assault on Cassie. Cam expressed his frustration during the taping, noting that while he was invited to speak on Sean Combs' allegations, no one bothered to ask about the positive ventures he and Mace had in the works. Feeling it was best to pivot, he chose to promote their business endeavors, including his sexual performance-enhancing drink. While Katt Williams has always been vocal about exposing Diddy's wrongdoings in the industry, he also mentioned turning down $30 million 4 times. He stated, now I have to deny $30 million 4 times, cause P. Diddy be wanting the body, and you gotta tell him no. This has led many people to believe that Diddy lured individuals with money and luxurious items, like when he showed off a Lamborghini to Justin Bieber. The question is, how far is Diddy willing to go to keep his secrets hidden? And what else might come to light as more people speak out? Do you believe he'll come out on top? Or is this the beginning of a bigger downfall? Share your opinions in the comments below.